Do you want the workshop tour? Take you to the first and the second floor. Okay. Oh, morning. This is the aura of someone who is on puppy duty by themselves for a week. Oh, I'm tired. Nick is in California flying paramotors because he's pretty cool. But that means that I have both puppies and a cat, one of those creatures being an absolute menace. I'll give you two guesses. Oh my god, look how big she is. Are you kidding me right now? Mama's big girl. Don't worry, you'll always be so petite. Okay, so big news. You may have seen in my update video that I was checking out a workshop space. The update being that I officially signed and got my keys. I officially have a workshop, which I have a lot of thoughts about. We'll do a little heart-to-heart later, but for now, I need to go to the shop. We're working on socializing Binks and Pip, and Binks is very annoyed with her. I need to go take some measurements of some of the stuff so we can start planning, completely whimsifying the space, getting these grubby little hands on every nook and cranny, bending it to my will. Let's get glam. Sorry if I sound stuffed up. I've been sick for literally 2.5 weeks at this point. My bangs are so greasy. I took a shower last night. You even breathe near these bangs and they get greasy. Also, if you see some anxiety-induced acne, I have one explanation for that, and that I'm an American. All right, we're not gonna go too crazy. I am not gonna make contact with any other human. In perfect honesty, I have left the house maybe 4 times in the course of 2 months. Just felt like sprucing up a little. We're gonna head over to the workshop. I am going to bring both puppies somehow. I'll give you a little tour. I'm gonna bring my tablet, go over my vision. You feel me? Not to be the girl that got prescribed glasses and all of a sudden it's her new personality, but from here to my reflection is becoming harder to see, but I can't wear glasses when I'm doing my makeup because this is the general area that I'm working with. Who is the girl I see? I don't know. I'm gonna do my makeup. Let's skip to the hair. Time to see if my hair actually dried. My bets are on not a f***ing chance. Ooh, yeah, there's no way. Not bad. Ow, ow. Probably gonna curl my bangs a little. Grandmother wants to look a little special. This is the kind of content you want to see, right? Just me silently curling my bangs. I'm gonna suit up in my best sweater vest, get the dogs ready to go, hitch up the old wagon and hit the dusty trail. Yeah, we ready? The gang's all here. Let's go. But first, coffee.
But before I exhibit what a hardcore New Englander I truly am, and in an effort to pay rent, this workshop tour is sponsored. So to talk a little bit about that, here's sponsor Rachel.
Hi. If there's one thing I'm quite confident in saying, it's that my existence on this planet solely revolves around my love of one thing. Bread. The amount of bread-related projects that I've done on this channel is copious. When this week's sponsor approached me, it was the easiest decision I've ever made. And that sponsor is Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first Bake from Frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. Unlike a lot of store-bought options, Wild Grain uses simple ingredients that you can pronounce in a slow fermentation process. They're consistently adding seasonal and new products, including gluten-free, vegan, and new protein boxes. You go on the website and you pick out all of the delicious goodies that you would like, and then it arrives at your door, frozen. Shall we open this bad boy up and see what I got? we shall. This is the most excited I've been for an unboxing in my entire life. We've got chocolate croissants, regular croissants, ciabatta, sourdough, giant chocolate chip cookies, oh my god, some butter, and biscuits. I think I gotta do the croissants. Legitimately giddy. Come to mama. I'm so happy. So that, my friends, is Wild Grain, a sponsor that I felt was absolutely perfect for this channel. I have dinner with my parents this week. I'm gonna strike up that sourdough loaf and they're gonna be so impressed. Wild Grain is offering $30 off of your first box and free croissants for life. Yeah. If you head to wildgrain.com/RachelMaksy and use the code RachelMaksy. Thank you so much, Wild Grain, for sponsoring this video. I'm going to fight the urge to see how many of these I can fit in my mouth at once. Let's get back to it. Go ahead, be free. Oh, there's a camera in here. Weird. Free! I'm not gonna lie to you.
Smells like pure gasoline.
Hi! Hi, bud. And with that, let's start the tour. Ta-da! Welcome to the shop. I'm still workshopping names for workshop names. Shall we begin? Starting with the first floor. As you can see, big, wait, hold on. Did I do it? Big, wide open space. Plenty of room for activities. So we've got this giant garage door, all this space here, and then this underside of the loft, which I am going to try to put all of my tools and woodworking, a door to the outside, which is covered in snow currently, but he said that there's a nice little like stone patio there and a little bit of trees. So I think that's gonna look really nice in the spring and I can take them for walks. And then you back up, over here is like a little nook, which is nice. I can probably put all of my ugly stuff there and then just hang curtains. Big selling point of this is a bathroom. Ta-da! Toilet. Get that. Ew. Can't wait to clean that. And there's no cover for it, so love that. All right, I'm closing this. Toilet sniffers. More storage underneath. I don't know if I'll actually use that or not. Big wide open space. Going upstairs. That's right. I said upstairs. You can do it. You know how to go upstairs. She knows how to go up, but not down, so she will need my assistance for that. The stairs leading up to the loft. The plan is to stain these, which I know is going to take absolutely forever, but I want to stain them so they're dark wood. Maybe get some stair treads for these puppies. And also they're just like plywood stairs, so they're not exactly the most aesthetic, but that's okay. You're doing it, Peter, you're doing it. But you won't do that at the house? Make it make sense. Frodo, oh Frodo, let down thy hair. Nope, actually we're going up, okay. Hello, handsome. Ta-da! Fake house that I walked in and pretty much immediately squealed. Oh, hi. This is pretty much igniting the childhood feeling of playing house. I don't know what it is about it, but it makes me very happy. Yes, this is my balcony. And then as far as this facade, I definitely want to do something with it. Basic siding. I asked the landlord and he said I could do whatever I want to it, so famous last words that he hath spoken. But basically, okay, so we go up here and then I have a door and then into this little blank space. I am thinking that I will probably have like an office in here, maybe just like a chill out area, have a little coffee machine. If I am to meet with clients, this can be where I do it. There's so much potential in here. And then they have these window bays and then the view. Come on, sweetheart. Oh, careful, please. Oh, I can't wait to tell Dada you went downstairs. I I apologize if this whole thing is just super chaotic. I'm trying my best, but trying to do all of this in a timely manner so that they're not here too long, kind of stressful. Careful! That's the tour. I mean, it's pretty small, but it's not small in price. So speaking of which, can I interest you in a little Patreon? Or perhaps some merch? I discussed this already, but it's something that I'm trying to get better at, finding justification in business expenses. It's hard to think of myself as a business because I'm just someone who I'm just a girl who makes videos in her house for the most part. So it's hard for me to think of buying things to better my business and better the content. For the most part, I've pretty much stayed kind of stagnant throughout my YouTube career. You know, I've moved house and everything, but aside from that, I'm still kind of doing the same thing that I've been doing since the beginning. This feels strange and scary and kind of a gamble. But I think, you know, when you're trying to expand your business, that's just the name of the game. Unfortunately, that comes with an extra monthly expense. So I'm hoping I can use this enough to justify it. Maybe at some point I can start taking paid projects. I need to build up my portfolio first, but I have this for a year. So I'm just gonna try it out for a year, see how it goes. I have free reign to do anything I want to it, the guy said, as long as it's up to code. At the same time though, I am going to try to keep it renter friendly, only because if the end of the year comes and I decide like it's too expensive or not worth it, I don't want to completely screw over the next person who comes here with like a medieval workshop. So I want to, sort of like I did for Kate and Olivia's studio, keep things able to be peeled off or ripped away or painted over, so I can kind of reverse my footprint if I'm not here for the long term. I should have brought beds for you. Yeah, well. With that being said, let's talk about my vision for how I want this to look. And it's going to be a process, absolutely going to be a process, but hopefully I can document it in different videos, and that's something that you'll find interesting. So, let's sketch some things out. I feel like someone over the age of 60 at Disney World. Seating is definitely something that I should probably figure out. So I'm gonna pull that into Procreate. My vision for this space is, surprise, surprise, along the historical, kind of fantasy, kind of medieval. I don't want to go too medieval with it because I already did that with Kate and Olivia's studios. And because on every level except literal, I am essentially Geppetto. That is going to be a huge, huge inspiration for me. Whole first floor, I basically want to look like Geppetto's workshop. I want this wall over here, I want it to be a stone wall. Maybe like a different kind of stone wall from the one that I already did. I think I'm gonna use foam boards so that they can just be peeled off afterwards. Okay, you got the idea. I will be purchasing those window clings. It looked like a Tudor window. These are the steadiest hands I've ever seen. And then I think along this wall, mostly because I don't want to do another stone wall, utilize all of the wood in here. So this is gonna be stained. Wonky Tudor beams here. Maybe not even and not straight to kind of give it that like wizard vibe. And then hopefully we can get like a nice big rug in here. It feels like I am in Shawshank currently. I think over here, I'm probably gonna have like backdrops and all of the utility stuff that I need for taking photos. If I need to build like a big set, I can build it over here. And then over here is just gonna be a storage space with a curtain. I may or may not do a similar thing with the studio and make like a fake door. If you watch that video, basically it was just a foam piece that I made and it Velcroed onto the door. No problem. There's that. With that, let's just talk about the facade up here. And I need to take another picture. Oh no, I'm trapped. Well, that didn't work. Oops. All right, Grandma, you got the case on. Oops. Okay, well, hold on. And then I'll take some of the inside. I'll tell you what, my pops are getting quite anxious, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here and we can finish the concept drawings in the warmth of our own home. Actually, I lied. I need to take some measurements first. Is that a measuring tape in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? Picking up where we left off. For the upstairs, you know I cannot be presented with the facade of a fake building and not go absolutely hog wild. I am going to attempt to make this into a little Tudor building. I'm also not opposed to both this and the workshop down below having very strong theme park vibes, kind of like Disneyland or Disney World, with Snow White's cottage or Geppetto's workshop. A little bit of a cartoony kind of style. Maybe things aren't completely straight, maybe they're a little wonky. This is the reference photo I was kind of thinking for this. So I've got this cross beam here. And a couple here. For the windows, I'm gonna have to do some browsing, but what I would love to do is either fabricate or find windows that open up in the middle. Woo! There's just something very fairy tale about that to me. But again, this all kind of depends on what we can find on the internet. Maybe we could do like a flower box. How freaking precious would that be? This is like the One Ring level precious. Need some little flowers in here. Meep, meep, meep. Huh? And then last but not least would be the interior of that office. Because this is such an insanely hefty project, I will probably break it up where in one video I'll try to do the bottom workshop and then the facade, and then in a separate video do the interior of the office. I'll talk about that more when the time comes, but what I'm thinking very specifically is Christian's apartment in Moulin Rouge, if you've ever seen that. Just a very cozy, sort of dingy Parisian apartment vibe, like a lime wash, plaster paint. Maybe one of the walls can have old wallpaper. Just make it super duper cozy in there. Because the rest of the workshop is so kind of harsh and cold, I would love like just a little area to go maybe meet clients. It's all very exciting, but also all very nerve-wracking and anxiety-inducing. I can't really even pinpoint what's making me so anxious about it. I think it's just because, like I said, I don't take a lot of risks, especially financial risks. My worries are that it's too big of a project. I'm not gonna end up getting around to everything I wanna get to, and then I'm paying for a cold, dead space. So that's kind of the concern. I gotta push that out of my mind. It's for a year. If I don't like it, I can stop. I need to build up my portfolio of interior decorating anyways. I want to do like themed spaces, so this is kind of about as themed as you can get. So I can take like before photos and after photos, and it's a completely blank canvas. So if nothing, it's good for that. It'll be good to have a space that's well ventilated, spray painting projects, woodworking with all the wood dust and everything, foam dust. I love my barn, it's very cozy, but whenever I work on a foam project in there, it takes ages to get that out and to vacuum it out. I wear PPE, of course, but you know, it's probably not very safe for my last 3 remaining brain cells. So this space will be good for that. It'll be good for larger furniture projects or larger decor projects. I struggle a lot with my barn creating a giant photo shoot and then having to clean it up immediately to film in there. This will kind of have a dedicated space for that. Aside from working with clients, my ultimate goal is also to have a coffee shop, Victorian coffee shop with Nick. My plan for that is to do a lot of it ourselves, including like the big front counter. I could build it there with all of my woodworking things, any furniture we need to build. With those giant garage doors, you can back in a trailer for materials. This is literally just me justifying it to myself because I'm a scaredy cat and I'm very anxious and don't like change. I'm cheap to a severe detriment to myself. I don't know. And I guess there's the part of myself that worries that, you know, people that watch me don't like when I spend money. I'm very sensitive to that. Unfortunately, the way I see it, like I said, this is a business expense. It's for creating more content for you. It feels like a good step and kind of shifting in that direction. And I think it's easy to stay in one spot and stay comfortable and not take any risks, but is important for me to do. Stay tuned. Want to see if I can order some things and start gathering furniture, which is also going to be expensive, but I'm going to try to get secondhand as much as I can, like woodworking benches and stuff. Start gathering that stuff, which is going to take time. I want to figure out the windows. Goal is to start working on it the second half of March. I think this space is going to be a lot more pleasant to exist in towards spring and summer because it's very chilly right now. All that to say, I am so grateful you're here. Thank you for coming along this journey of self-trajectory. I don't know. I know this was kind of like a simpler concept of a video, but with Nick being gone, I really can't do much because I have to take care of the 2 pups. I'm going to take all of this makeup off that I just put on a couple hours ago, get in my PJs, get back to con crunching for KatsuCon, which is next week, and I have a lot to do. What's that? You want an update on my Satine costume? Don't you worry, I hear you loud and clear. Here she is fully beaded. I don't even want to know how many freaking beads that is. Doing the lapel, and now I just need to do the tails. Look, I made that. That's cool. All right. Kind of a weird video, but thank you so much Wild Grain for sponsoring this video. If you would like $30 off of your first order and free croissants for life, make sure you head to wildgrain.com/RachelMaksy and use the code RachelMaksy. I love you so very much, whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every other Friday and we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Silly me. I chose to film during puppy WWE. Hey boop-a-dee boop-bop, me. I have some visitors here. Can you see the snoot? Do you want the workshop tour? Take you to the first and the second floor. Oh, that's covered in sawdust. I love that for me. Oh, ho, ho. A baby, 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 a baby, Pippin, a baby girl. Even I am irritated by my like stuffy voice right now, but there's nothing I can do. My sickness, it won't leave. Oh,